the last time the people saw your build, it was in primer and it was running. What would you like to start off in part 3 on this build?
Well, I am about ready to start slinging some paint. And this is where our new sponsors come in too, because I picked up Keystone tape along this ride. I picked up Ace of Shades paint, which I just is chomping at the bit to get going. And then I've got that Feruza Red Freak Flake jar sitting over there. I just can't wait to get to use. So when I seen it in primer, I knew that I had the exact car that I was trying to dream up. I go from chalkboard drawing to the scale to that wild mock-up out of my scrap pile to something that's conceptually a vehicle. I mean, this is real. It runs, it looks from every angle better than I ever dreamed that it could. And this is starting to really hold up to solidifying my thoughts that I can do this. I can really do this. And all these sponsors that I picked up, I'm excited to let them know that they're siding with the right horse.
It kind of felt like I was bringing some of my favorite ingredients together, and you as a chef got to cook it for all of us to see and eat, so to speak. Hopefully it doesn't fall out, but check out this stuff on the passenger side. Hop on up.
Oh, I love this truck.
All right, so Ace of Shades.
Ace of Shades.
That's finally came in.
Look at that, brother. We got some white lightning on our side, which is good. This gives back to my family heritage. All the white lightning they were pouring in the mountains, boy. We got that, and if I remember correctly,
is Italian red in there?
They got, yes,
is that
brother.
the second one?
Italian red.
And then this.
Hey, you ain't gonna have a BMW Isetta without some Ferrari red on that bad boy.
Oh, got some merch. Got some
shirts too.
You XL?
Oh my gosh, and look at this, bro. They gave me a shirt and they gave me 2 extra rags too.
And then I just opened this right now. I pulled up.
Oh,
but what is that? Like a...
This is probably, that's the reducer.
Oh, nice.
Super Reducer. SD80, slow, hot temperature. They knew we were in Indiana. It's in the 90s, and it looks like they have given us, man, there's something else in here too.
Maybe some more quartz?
No, it's the reducer and it's the activator. Nice. So we've got everything here sprayed base coat, man.
Awesome.
They've sent us everything for the base. We got Freak Flake getting us all sparkly, and then we just bury it in clear. Yeah! Thank you, Ace of Shades. Head over there and check out the library of beautiful colors they got. We're using the white lightning, we're using the Italian red for the classic looks, but they got metallics, they got candies, they got everything you need to get looking sharp. So head over to Ace of Shades, get what you need.
And made in the USA.
Made in the USA, just like us. Are we ready?
Oh, that's nice.
That's red, boy. This is Color Papaw's truck.
That Dodge, 90s Dodge, you think?
Yeah, so like this was the closest color I could get to his truck. So it was like, you know, I'm trying to really give back to the legends in my life, you know, and like I always consider my grandpa the biggest legend. And you know, from the very start, I've wanted to use like the same kind of couch as his, same kind of colors as his, and you know, Jimmy never got to meet him, and that's who Jimmy was named after. So it's like, I want to give the spirit of my grandpa back to my son, you know, and I'm going to be able to do that in this little family RV. We're going to get it all prepped and ready for a Wally World vacation. August 9th, we'll be the first ones in line for the Hot Wheels Legends Tour, and I'm going about this one Clark Griswold style. Be cool. Got the family vacation we're taking to Wally World. Got a lot of work to do before we get there though, because I don't have a brand new family truckster. I've still got to finish that. Thank you, Ace of Shades. Redemption Red.
I like that Redemption Red. Let's check that out.
That's a hot ride there, son. I can't wait to see the gold wheels bouncing off of that red.
Oh, that's true.
You know, because we got the gold curtains, we got the gold wheels. That's Hot Wheels, brother. That is Hot Wheels. I want a classic. This thing should look like it's been in the Hall of Legends with the twin mill and the bone shaker and all of them for a long time. You know, I don't want it to look like it just got there. I want it to be confused for something that's been there from the start. That'll help us right there. Perfect shade. So, and I felt like there's a lot of temperature in the kitchen too to be cooking in too, brother. Because the one thing that I was worried about is making all these companies look like fools, which I didn't want to do. I've seen these products used on high-end builds, and here I've been playing in my trash can for the last 40 or 50 days, and I'm getting ready to go around third and head home alongside of companies that see something in me that I'm still honestly trying to find myself. And to think that they're willing to send us these products and root me on the whole way. They were sharing and on all social media platforms and YouTube, and they were as excited as I was to see the finished product. It felt good to know that my roster's starting to fill up a little bit. It's not just me out here building these cars. I've got a lot of great companies that are starting to get on board with me. And I can't wait to do many, many more of these wild adventures with them.
Do you remember how you felt spraying with the new paint and the new guns and the new kind of setup that you had?
I tell myself every time I'm going to give an appropriate amount of days to get all these things done. And in an 80-day thrash session on a car this complex, and it doesn't matter how small it is, I convinced myself that I could do it in 60 days and I'd be kicking my feet up for 20. And I'm already seeing on the day before paint day that I'm going to be cutting corners somewhere. I'm creeping up on barely any days, and I already right off the bat know that the Freak Flake's going to have to wait till after the show. I'm going to get this thing in the Ace of Shades. They sent me Italian Red, they sent me White Lightning base coats, and I wasn't able to sleep, I wasn't able to do anything before that paint job. So I was in one of my manic states on that paint day too. And in the future, one of my goals is to go into a paint day or go into any of these artistic expression days with a full night of sleep to where I can actually enjoy it. Because whatever you captured and whatever I captured on them cameras is all I really remember of it.
Self-destruction. I'm back to a place that I left a long time ago. Just give me a sec while I smoke this cigarette. My aching body feels better still. What do you do when you pick up my guitar and too much on your plate when I need to escape? Everything will be better when I find a way. People leave, do they ever think about you? What I'd say if I ever came back again. Well, I still wonder and I miss you. I know I'll ask you when I see you again, my friend. What do you do when you get the blues? Just pick up my guitar and too much on your plate when you need to escape. Everything will be better when I find a way. Oh.
might say that I'm a loner, but I just call it being free. I am my heart's only owner, or at least I used to be. 'Cause now a wildfire is raging deep inside, and my heartstrings are pulling like the tide. And the match that drew a spark was a single stolen kiss. And if that ain't love, I don't know what is. For years I've kept my feelings grounded and gone without, all kept within. By these high walls I've been surrounded, whilst to her eyes only paper thin. 'Cause now a wildfire is raging deep inside, and my heartstrings are pulling like the turning of the tide. And the match that drew the spark was a single stolen kiss. And if that ain't love, I don't know what is. If that ain't love, I don't know what is.
Got to flat for a few minutes. It's time for clear.
I got 12 hours of sleep, and then I have spent the last 12 hours cleaning up this mess. I've got our upholstery set design all done and ready to pull off a really cool interior job. And then, of course, I've done everything in my power to not touch the little guy. I'm trying to let it cure, but it turned out really, really good. So I want to recycle as much as this project as I can together, interior included. That's why we went with the couch route, and Trent went and got all that at the antique store. But all the foam inside of that couch, the vinyl I needed for the top, kind of everything I needed to really finish it off as a nice upholstery job that I felt comfortable taking to a Hot Wheels show, I needed to go to Derby Fabrics and load up on pretty much all the normal supplies I need to do any kind of upholstery job. And to be honest with you, man, that day, that bill at the end of the day was the most expensive receipt I had for the entire build the whole time. I think I had probably 25% of the whole build budget on that one trip to Derby.
You know, as for me to film that day for you at Derby, that was kind of cool to see behind the curtain, so to speak, because I really felt like me and you went back in time. Does going to a place like that kind of set yourself back into like a little throwback when you come back with all that material to the shop?
Derby's a third generation upholstery supply house there in Louisville. You know, Sean is the grandson, and then Brian's who we dealt with that day. He's the dad, and Brian's dad is actually who started Derby way back in the day. So getting to walk in day one, not having any experience at all, like I did when I started my upholstery shop. I walked in and they needed a list of references for me to start an account there and everything. I didn't have none of that. And Brian said, hey, if you're willing to start fresh and you'll use us, he handshake and we started doing business together. And ever since then, I never looked anywhere if Derby had it first. If Derby doesn't have it, I start looking elsewhere on the internet and everything. But the spirit of everything that leaves my acre needs to be with something that I shook somebody's hand and we made a deal on. I want to know that everything is put together in good intention and nobody was hurt in the process. Not saying that before they got there, people didn't get treated poorly, but I know from the hands I bought it from and the hands they're made with, it was nothing but pure intention. So every time I go down there, I come back home with almost a uplifting feeling to want to do something. You go down there, you see you see a scenery that I guarantee hasn't changed in 40 or 50 years. If you take a time machine and go back in Derby, you still get that same feeling. And that's the feeling I'm trying to recreate out here. Everybody wants to talk about how the good times are behind us, but they're alive and well. You guys just got to get off the internet to find them.
Thank you, boss. You go, baby. Be good.
Good luck in here, boss man.
Thanks, sir.
See ya.
See ya. Take care. Thanks.
I will.
Hey, no recycled goods for the upholstery job, man. The upholstery the stars.
The interior feel that I'm trying to capture in this is the feeling that I got sitting at the end of Papaw's couch down in the basement when I was a kid. My son is named after Papaw. You know, he's Jimmy Darrell. My grandpa is Jimmy Darrell. And everything that I remember of my grandpa, my son will never even know. And within the, I don't know, 50 or 60 days to this point, I'm starting to realize that I'm not building a car for me. I might actually be building a clubhouse for my son. He's, for the first time, starting to spark and fall in love with this thing. And I decided that the interior of this is going to bring into his life, without him even knowing, my grandpa and the feelings that I had with him. And maybe those good feelings that I carry with me, he will have with me. You know, I don't know. It's kind of a way of tricking him into loving me. But I decided that when I go digging for the material to use, I needed to repurpose. I needed to try to find a couch that matched my grandpa's. And my grandma ain't going on vacation, so I can't steal that one. I know it's a lot easier to apologize than ask permission, and I already know that she's gonna say no to this one. So I got to digging on Marketplace, and I was lucky enough to find the exact floral pattern at an antique shop. Trent hit the road to go pick it up for me.
You know, what's kind of cool about it, you talked about the in-person reaction and the deal making we got to do in Sydney, Ohio when I went to that vintage store, because, you know, I bought stuff for myself from the house out there. But when I first told her, I'm like, you know, this couch is going to be turned into a car interior. She was just so blown away, and she was actually excited, because just like you said, sometimes you'll say your ideas and you're getting ready for the negative response or the confused response. But she was all for it. She said her husband was a painter in the automotive world, so she was all for it. And I remember coming back from Sydney, Ohio, and knowing the people on the highway have no idea why this couch, beautiful couch, is in the back.
A nicer couch than we got in the house. Ruthie was so mad that it wasn't for her. She thought this was a big surprise present, and me and the kids just started demolishing it.
And they kind of go through that too. What do you remember of it pulling up, you know, in the back of that truck and being able to put it out in the grass and have Jimmy, you know, I don't know if Louita was there, but I know Jimmy was bouncing all around it.
Yeah, they were there. As soon as it pulled up, I knew that if I'm smart, I need to peel this thing fast. Because if they get used to this awesome couch sitting around, I'm never going to be able to tear it apart. So I told them, guys, it's tear apart time. And there's nothing more fun to a kid than destroying a couch, and I got to actually let him do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cushions in the back seat if you want to check them out
God.
too.
Oh, it's got material on the bottom of the cushions too.
Yeah, that's more square footage, right?
Square footage, and look at this. You know how expensive foam is? There's all the foam for the interior too.
Does that
Full
zipper make it
supplies.
easier? Make it cleaner or no?
I mean, it don't matter. I'm gonna end up stripping it all anyway. Hey, I'm not gonna have to steal your couch. Found one. Look how close that is to y'all's downstairs.
Wow.
Closest match I could find.
Where'd you find it at?
Trent just went and got it in Ohio.
Yeah, I was in Sydney, Ohio. A pretty little town too. That is nice.
So Trent made a trip to Ohio today to an antique store and added to our supply list here for the redemption vehicle. This, what you see, is not just a couch. This is our upholstery supply store because the interior is going to be made all out of this couch. I'm going to use the foam, I'm going to use the wood, and I'm going to use this floral velvet material. If you remember the couch I was sitting on the banana hammock movie of my grandpa's, this is the closest mate to it we could find on the planet. I cannot wait to strip this thing down and turn it into a Hot Wheels interior. So the reason I cut the Freak Flake out is because I knew I needed like 45 to 50 hours to knock out this interior. This interior isn't just a driving position interior, it has to fold into a real RV. I want this to be a drivable sleeper is really the end goal here. And lucky enough that Ruthie came out, she was helping me peel all the material while I got going on what was gonna be one of the wildest interiors I ever put together. It's currently 92 degrees and sunny on my acre with a 100% chance of a 70s upholstery storm coming. I'm so excited. I get to dive in today, start making stuff look pretty. I got prepped last night. I went ahead and got all of the side panels. I got these front ones on and I got the rest of them patterned. And then it's gonna be figuring the layers out, making a captain's chair. I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out.
I heard a ringing bell this morning, and it woke me from a dream. And in that dream I heard a warning, when you got no one on your side, you gotta love one another, sister and brother, 'cause he won't let
I'm a few hours in. I have the front door on. Trent came over. We finished all the stuff up for part 2 of this thing, and I want to just log this before my last night on the guy. I'm to the point where, I don't know, as much as Hot Wheels sounds like the fun part of this, the fun part's this, guys. It's going from there, you know, to there. To me, I didn't even have a car to build this year. Ruthie told me to just go back there in the scraps and build something. Even if it's a golf cart, you know, just show up with something. Don't let them keep you down. And, guys, I built that out of garbage. Yeah, just like me. High-class trash. Proud of it. Wish me luck, y'all. I got 24 hours of thrash. As you can see, I'm emotionally like feeling it. These 80 days have been very, very, very stressful, but so fun. Like, I have had the most fun of my life the last 80 days. I have watched my kids' imagination grow tenfold. I've watched the acre grow too. And me. Like, I'm a way better version of myself than the one that was sitting there that Jay Leno picked last year. That guy would get lost in my shadow 365 days later. So whether it is, you know, chasing this thing down next year with something else or defending it, you know, I'm going to be back to this Hot Wheels Legends Tour, and I'm going to stand on that stage many more times with things that I build right here in this garage, right here in Deputy, Indiana, by myself, with my wife and kids watching. That's all the audience I need to impress. And the rest of y'all that follow along, I am thankful that you're along for the ride. But no matter what stop you get off on, just know this train's gonna keep on rolling until I ain't got no more left in me. Love you. Here we go. So at this point, I'm running like 2 days with no sleep. I'm on nothing but energy drinks and Garage Spirit. And we're ready to fire this thing up and see if it'll move, see if it'll go out the garage door. It's ready to load up and have a dance with redemption this year. Jay Leno thought that I was good enough to be a legend last year, and I kinda agreed with him. But this time, I got a different feeling. When I fire this thing up and I drove it outside, I just felt like a real life Ed Roth painting. She's ready for Hot Wheels, and I would say it is ready to be immortalized in 1/64th scale on the pegs at Walmart. Wish me luck. The way this Hot Wheels show works is they load you in super early in the morning, like 5 a.m. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get up that early. If I fell asleep here on the property, I was going to be asleep for 2 or 3 days. So me, Ruthie, and the kids loaded up and went on up there the night before, and I pushed the Isetta to first in the line, and I broke it in right, man. I slept in that sucker in the Walmart parking lot right there before the biggest day of my life. I couldn't wait to get it in front of that backer board. I had already started to feel like the crowd, as I was waking up, was on my side. All the people were crowded around me as I was waking up. And then when I rolled it inside and got in the parking spot, my buddy Darian White pulls in next to me, which is a local guy right here. I've been over to his place. He donated some steel to the floorboard on this thing. So it was just already starting off the day right. And as the day went on, it didn't matter what age groups the fans were. People wanted this thing as a die-cast car, as a Hot Wheels. And I knew that if the crowd was the judge that day, I had this thing locked.
Oh my goodness. And then you put the steering wheel there.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Where did you ever find such a thing? You made it?
Yeah, this is all made by him.
It's a little car, and it can turn into a bed over there. A tiny little car.
It is a tiny little car.
It's like the best cars in the Hot Wheels.
Thanks, buddy.
That is pretty cool.
Do you? Well, I hope they make this one so you can have it too, bud.
Yeah, this is the best one.
I knew before it even came off that chalkboard that any kid with a set of eyes and feet would run to it and just fall in love with it. And the whole time I had my own little testing pool right here. I had 2 kids. I had my wife, and you know, I had all you all on the internet rooting me on. So I felt like I'd already done everything I set out to. I'm way more into the journey of this thing than I am the destination. That destination was pretty though, because getting to stand back is almost like a ghost and seeing people that don't know me at all see it for the first time, and this be the introduction to how they met Paper to Pavement and how they met Mikey's Acre of Earth and me and my family. And just to know that I really did. I represented my area. I represented everybody that helped us. Cindy Barlow came from Wyotech, and I felt like that was the chance for my sole, you know, my big primary sponsor to see me in my element. And I'm not trying to get this subscriber count to 1 million or anything. The number I'm really worried about is one-on-one. I want more interactions with more people that have different perspectives than me. I'm trying to go through this life and collect perspectives. And getting to go to that show, getting to see people from just learning to walk to potentially about to lose the ability to walk, you know, that range. I mean, you want to look at an age range of people that fell in love with it, and that I fell in love with too. It was a wild crowd. A lot of the reason it was a wild crowd is because all the deputies showed up for me. And I was sorry, you know, at the end of the day, I was really sorry to let everybody down as far as the judge's decision, but that was the judge's decision. That was opinion at the end of the day. And as odd as I've been since birth, I'm kind of getting used to being misunderstood. So I planned on the end of this part 3 to be me on stage at Indy, holding an award. I really did. That's how I go into everything. I don't start any first day to come in second place. I go at everything 100%, knowing that I'm going to either do it or look like a fool trying. And I felt like I did more than enough to deserve to stand up on stage, if I'm being honest. And I felt like in a different crowd of judges, I might get a different verdict. When I got back home, I slept on it a little bit, and I thought, man, if I could sit here and say that it was its best, I would sleep on it knowing that it was just difference in opinion. But without that freak flake on there, I'll never sleep. And I didn't sleep then. I came back home, jumped right back in the lab, taped it up, freak flaked this bad boy, and I got back a hold of the judges at Hot Wheels, and I asked if I could please have the opportunity to get beat at my best. And took them a while to get back, but guess what, buddy? Round 2. Ding, ding. Let's go get them.